99% of beginners overlook this simple pair, but it's the best way to start trading Forex. In this video, I'll show you why EURUSD is the #1 Forex pair you must start trading today. Alright, so why is EURUSD the best Forex pair for beginners? Well, in my opinion, there are 4 reasons. First is high liquidity. So EURUSD is the most traded Forex pair in the world with billions, literally billions exchanged daily. And this means, well, maybe even trillions. And this means that there's always a buyer and seller ready to take your trade. So there's a lot of liquidity. And why it's great for beginners? Well, high liquidity ensures quick trade execution and minimal slippage. So if you take a trade, it's instantly placed, right? So there's minimal slippage. If you place a order at, let's say, 1.01, then it is placed at 1.01 and not 1.03 or 4, right? Another thing, tight spreads. So since EURUSD is so popular, brokers offer the lowest spreads on this pair, which means lower trading costs for you. For example, a broker might charge just 0.1 pips for USD, while other pairs might cost 3 or 5 pips per trade. So if you compare it to, for example, USD Mexico, the spread is way higher, right? But even if you compare it to, let's say, Euro CAD or GBP CHF, the spread is much higher if you compare it to EURUSD. Another thing is stability and predictability. Well, EURUSD tends to move in smoother trends compared to volatile pairs like GBP/JPY, making it easier to analyze and trade. I'll show you in a minute how that looks like. And why is beginner friendly? Because beginners can focus on learning technical analysis without being overwhelmed by erratic price movement. So it's way smoother, it's way easier for beginners to trade that pair. And last but not least, abundant resources and analysis. And yeah, that's also a pro because there's no shortage on trading guides, strategies, and market analysis for EURUSD. Is the pair with the most commonly covered information by experts, right? So if you think of trading Forex, most people, first thing they think of is EURUSD, the euro versus the dollar. And as mentioned, many experts, they cover many articles, guides, videos on EURUSD because that's the most popular and it's also the most easiest, and you have the lowest trading costs. And the benefit is also that this makes it easier for beginners to find educational content and improve the skills. So how can you actually start trading EURUSD successfully? First, which is really important, choose the right broker. So look for brokers with low spreads and high execution speeds for EURUSD trades. So for example, think of regulated brokers, regulated Forex brokers. I have a link down below in the description, and that's a broker I recommend. They offer really low spreads and other trading costs, so it's great for beginners trading EURUSD. The next thing is focus on key sessions. What do I mean with that? So the best times to trade EURUSD are during the London and New York session when volatility is at its peak. And this is typically from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, where you will see the most price action. So let's go to the charts. Over here, this is the daily chart of the EURUSD pair. And it's quite stable if you compare it to other currencies, other Forex pairs. It's quite stable. It goes to the upside, it goes a little bit down, goes to the upside, down. It's in a range, right? And of course here we see a nice trend, but if you compare that, it was in 2021, but from 2023 until 2024 it was quite stable, right? From here to here it was quite stable. Don't see many crazy peaks, for example. And then from, what is it, about October 2024, the end of 2024, we see a big turn to the downside. But if you compare it, for example, to GP-JPY, this is the GP-JPY pair. We see over here that goes to the upside and a crazy move to the downside. So this is, yeah, typical GP-JPY. And at the moment, yeah, we're in a range right now, but it used to go to the upside for a long time. Over here, another example, a big move to the upside, then we see a large move to the downside, and this is also typical, right? So a big move down, yeah, taking out all the stop losses, and then we see it moves to the upside. See again, large moves to the upside, and then suddenly crazy move to the downside again. So yeah, that is GBP JPY. Let's go back to EURUSD. Now I'm looking at the hourly time frame. So as mentioned, 8 EM to 12 PM Eastern, which is, yeah, about London session and New York session overlap. So for me, it's about 12, 1, 2 o'clock. So let me see over here. That's mostly about here. Yeah, we see that there is a big candle, and then yeah, it goes to the downside. But these are the big candles, and let's say here during Asian session, here we don't see big movements, right? And then the London session starts and we see big candles being formed. Again, this is the hourly time frame. And then about here we see again London session. So it moves during London and the New York, yeah, London New York overlap. So that's about here. We see big candles. So if you are a scalper, for example, day trader, then I recommend to start trading during these times, the London session and the London New York overlap. So here, this is the Asian session. We do not see big candles, but this is about 8 o'clock. Here we see a huge candle, and this is probably because of news. And over here, it's, yeah, we don't see big candles again. Small bodies. This is during Asian session, right? And then over here, about 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we start to see big candles, and that's, yeah, when the New York session has started. So yeah, those are the best times if you want to trade, if you want to day trade Euro USD. Next, start small with micro lots. So begin with small trading sizes, like 0.01 lots, to limit your risk while you learn. So if you have a small account, $100 account, do not open a trade with a lot size that is higher than 0.01, because if you don't have a lot of experience, you will take unnecessary losses which are probably too big for your account. Last but not least, use simple strategies. For example, a really simple strategy: try the moving average crossover. Buy when the 5 EMA crosses above the 20 EMA and sell when it crosses below. And of course, it doesn't work all the time, but this was, yeah, my first trading strategy. I used the, I believe it was the 13 and the 34 EMA. But I was able to make some money even, yeah, I didn't have any experience or whatever. I was just basically gambling. However, I did use a strategy, even though it's really simple: moving average crossover. So I didn't have any clue apart from just sell when I see a cross to the downside and buy when I see a cross to the upside. And yeah, again, I did make some money, even though I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I didn't know what fundamental analysis is, technical analysis, and an economic calendar and all that. So, but it did work. However, in hindsight, the first thing you have to do first, of course, is to find out the direction on the higher time frame. So let's say we see a bearish trend on the daily or on a 4-hour time frame, then we only look for moving average crossover trades on a 50-minute time frame, for example, or a 30-minute time frame, whatever you prefer, when the 5 EMA crosses the 20 to the downside, right? Because on a higher time frame we saw that there's a downtrend. So we do not take buy crosses because that's against the trend. For example, over here we see the 5 exponential moving average and the 20 exponential moving average. And we already identified a downtrend, right? We saw on a higher time frame we are in a downtrend at the moment. So from October we saw that we're moving to the downside. So we only look for crossovers to the downside. Here we see a cross, we take a sell. So this is in profit. Goes to the upside, we do not do anything. We wait for a cross to the downside, we take a sell, and we write it down over here, for example, whatever your exit strategy is. Again, over here we see a sell, crossover, profit, and that's basically the strategy, right? So you only take sell opportunities when we see a crossover, but we first have to identify the long-term trend, which was bearish. Currently it's bearish on the daily, on the 4-hour time frame, and that's what we saw. So again, sell trades, sell trades. So the crossover strategy does work. However, it's not simply just taking a buy when you see a crossover to the upside or a sell when the price goes down. You first have to identify what is the trend on the higher time frame, and are there other fundamental or other important circumstances, right? Okay, recap in one sentence. EURUSD is the perfect pair for beginners due to its high liquidity, tight spreads and predictable trends. And it's an excellent way to start your Forex journey. So let me know, have you traded EURUSD before? Let me know down below in the comments your experience, and I'm really curious. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next